So I have some really shaggy cattle.
Hey Annabelle, how's it going, girl?
Today's video is sponsored by ButcherBox.
Good to see you, my shaggy cow.
And one of the cool parts about shaggy cattle is when you brush those shaggy cattle.
Are you gonna let me brush you? Oh, that's a clear no. They'll come close to me and eat from my hand, but they really don't like to be brushed.
But unfortunately, my bovines are just a little bit too skittish to let me get anywhere near them with a brush. But I've seen a lot of people on the internet talk about installing large cattle brushes. And that got me curious. But unfortunately, the more I investigated that situation, the more I found that in order to install one of those cattle brushes, I would need to actually dig a hole in the ground. But even though the sun is shining right now, it's only 4 degrees Fahrenheit. And so that means our ground is way too frozen for me to try to install some sort of brush for my cattle. But our old barnyard actually has a little bit of a blessing here that I'd like to introduce you to. So do you guys see this metal pole right here? I'm pretty sure this metal pole was installed years and years ago. No, Ginny, don't knock over the camera. Like they probably put it here so that you wouldn't like run into some rocks that are right down below the ground there, particularly if you're out here with a mower. And so I have this big massive pole that I think is actually concreted into the ground, and it's been here for decades. And so I got to thinking, what if I tried to install cattle brushes onto this thing? The only problem there was trying to find cattle brushes that would be durable enough to be outside, as well as big enough to entice the cattle to want to use them. But eventually I found this retailer out in the Netherlands who happened to have just the right size brushes that would work for me. And so I put in my order and I patiently waited. Well, I got some good news, cattle. The brushes have arrived and you're getting a cow brush today. Or maybe technically they're getting a couple cattle brush. And so we're gonna install it and see how they react to it. I think you're gonna like it, guys. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, especially you, Kurt, you're gonna be a big fan of it. I even wonder if little Ginny here might be interested in it. Of course, now I gotta figure out how to drill some holes into a metal pipe like this. There's that box from the Netherlands here. I'm gonna zoom in here with my phone, but I don't know if you can see that. It's from Hairbrush, the Netherlands. I actually wonder if any of my Dutch friends could help me pronounce it down in the comments. I gotta admit, it was actually very hard to find these cattle brushes. You know, cattle brushes seem to be very popular in Europe and Australia, but not really a thing here in the United States. They sell a lot more that are like fully round, but I was actually looking for ones that are like half like this so that I can like just drill holes through the pipe and mount it with some bolts like right through it. And so that's gonna be my plan for today. I got a total of 3 of them, and so let's try to drill the holes in to do it. I just hope I have bolts and bits that are the right size to get through these holes right here. Hey Toby dog, you curious about what I'm doing? Well, I got my bucket and I got my brushes. I'm gonna try to install these brushes for the cattle. I wonder if he'd like brushes like this. And I think I'm only gonna install 2 of them here today. So maybe I could use that 3rd one for Toby dog, we'll see. Cattle are a little confused as to what I'm doing. Anytime I introduce something new, they're very curious. Isn't that right, Mr. Kurt Cobain? I feel like I'm being followed right now. What's up, Kurt? This right here isn't anything for you to eat, man. Hopefully they won't bother me while I'm working. Now I think I'm gonna mount the brushes to this side, kind of like this, because I don't want them to go too much on the other side of this pole. Because if they do, they might break through that fence, and that would be bad. As some of you guys who saw when Ariel the cow actually escaped, you know, like I said, that would be bad. What do you think, Kurt? Are you curious about this? Oh, you want nothing to do with it, huh? It's a little scary to you? Yeah, my cattle are very afraid of anything new. Well, I guess it's understandable. Curdy, were you just checking out the stuff? I went inside to go get a battery for the drill. You seem like you got mighty curious there, bud. All right, let me try to see how to face and place these things. I think that's about as high as I'd want to go. Be a little lower, a little lower. How about right about there? What do you think, Kurt? Does this satisfy your specifications? Hey, wait, I don't think he could care any less. Now this is the part I'm most nervous about for 2 reasons. Number 1, I hope the drill actually works on this steel pole. And then number 2, I hope the drill doesn't spook the cattle when something happens. All right, let's give it a shot. Seems like it's going, but not easily. I should also probably put on some eye protection. There we go, much safer. Even though I got the steel drill bit, it doesn't seem like my drill has enough chooch to really get this thing going. I might have to come up with a plan B for right now. What could I do here? Hang on, I'll be right back. Need more resources, cattle, need more resources. I got a solution here. See these? This might solve my problem. So for Christmas, my buddy Alfred, you guys remember my buddy Alfred, right?
My buddy Alfred!
Well, for Christmas, Alfred got these like gigantic zip ties for me, just saying they seemed like the type of thing I'd need for my half-assed projects.
Never half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing.
And here I am out here doing one of my half-assed projects, and it's the exact thing I need. It's really funny how these things work sometimes. All right, so I was thinking what I could try to do is sneak this one through here, and then I can snake it through the other side here. Okay, that sort of works as a concept. And I could do the same thing with the lower one. There we go. Works pretty good. I'm not sure it'll hold up permanently, and it does spin around a little bit too much. But for a temporary fix, let's see if this works. I mean, I'm not even sure if the cattle are gonna wanna use this, so let's not get overly fancy. In fact, I'm gonna go put this stuff away, and let's see if they check it out. The cattle seem a little bit shy, so maybe we try to give them a little encouragement, huh? Come on, cows. Come here, Kurt. Come on, buddy. Wanna check this out? Want some? You're afraid of it, huh? Just a little bit? Come on, pal. Curdy, come on. Come on, Curdy. There you go. Come here, Hodge. Gee, spooked him. Come here. Come on, guys. Now you're checking it out. That's good, Kurt. That's what I want to see. Come on, buddy. Give it a shot. That's right, Audrey. Oh, Audrey's figuring it out. Oh, Audrey likes it. Let's see if I can entice Annabelle over here. Hey, Annabelle. Annabelle, come here. Oh, no, Kurt's coming back. Come here, Kurt. Here, maybe try to eat it right from there. It's interesting, isn't it, buddy? I'll leave another one here. And I'm gonna leave another one here. All right, I'm gonna let the cattle just kind of do their thing for a little while, and we can go check on the other animals, but I'll leave one of the cameras here so we can watch them and see what they're up to. Maybe they'll be less shy if we're not around. Now, before we go see the other animals, I did want to take a minute to talk to you about today's video sponsor, ButcherBox. As you guys know, I've been a huge fan of ButcherBox for quite some time.
ButcherBox believes in doing better.
For them, better means caring about animals and our planet. It means improving the livelihoods of farmers, and it ultimately means better meals enjoyed together. It's why they deliver 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef, free-range organic chicken, and wild-caught seafood. And it's all delivered directly to your doorstep. With ButcherBox, you can spend less time searching for high-quality meat and more time cooking delicious meals at home in the new year. Sign up today to get 7 pounds of meat free in your first box. New members will receive 7+ pounds of ground beef, pork butt, chicken thighs for free in that first box. I love ButcherBox because it's a great way to get a good, healthy meal. For example, last night, Allison was working at the hospital and I had a lot of stuff to do, but I still needed to make dinner for myself. But thanks to some ButcherBox salmon I had in the freezer, I had a delicious and healthy meal whipped up in less than 20 minutes. ButcherBox sources from farmers and fishermen who meet the highest standards of quality. And the way ButcherBox works, you choose your box and delivery frequency. ButcherBox ships your order frozen at the peak of freshness and packed in an eco-friendly 100% recyclable box. So what's the secret to easy meal prep? Getting high-quality meat delivered directly to your doorstep. Click on the link down below and get 7+ pounds of free meat, a pork butt, chicken thighs, ground beef, all in your first order. I know you're gonna love it.
All right, let's see how the animals are doing. On these really cold days, I find a greater need to check on them in the middle of the day. Well, looks like their water hasn't frozen. Usually at midday, I gotta come out and give them fresh water, but you know, the beauty of ducks and geese is they actually help prevent their water from freezing by swimming in it. So I got that going for me. Speaking of ducks and geese, what's everybody up to? See, all the birds are hanging out over here. This area I'm gonna actually have to fence off pretty soon. We're getting ready and making the preparations for the new puppy, and this is gonna be her sort of shed that she uses. It'll be where I lock her up at night, and also during the day I want her to be able to be outside, but not have access to the animals without me watching her. As she gets older, I will be able to trust her more and more, but especially those first few weeks, you don't want a new livestock guardian dog to be able to do whatever they want. That's really how they pick up those bad habits and become poorly behaving animals. But I'll tell you what, I know one fella who's not a poorly behaving animal. How are you doing, buddy? Are you enjoying the day, Mr. Toby Dog? You're probably due for a brushing. Let's give you a brushing, huh? Yeah, you know what time it is. It's brushing time, buddy. It's brushing time, yeah. So I have like 3 different types of brushes I use on Toby. I have this brush right here. I have what's known as a slicker brush, and then I have an undercoat brush. When I give him his regular brushings, I usually rotate it from day to day. That way it's like good variety for the types of treatment his coat's getting. Yes, good boy, good boy. Good, good, good. Oh yeah, you like it, don't you? You got a little ice in your coat right here. You're such a fancy lad. And speaking of being a fancy lad, Toby's probably due for a trip back to Nakia the groomer, which let me know in the comments if you'd want to see that in an upcoming video. Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done. We're almost done. We're almost done, Mr. Puppy Dog. Got a little bit of schmutz right there. Just get it cleaned out. Okay, you're free to go. Good boy. Good boy. He always seems to get the zoomies right after I give him a brushing. This is all the hair I pulled from him today. You know, I know you've seen in past videos where I'm pulling out like practically a whole nother dog when I brush him. This time of year, it doesn't end up happening that way, and I just get a little bit of hair. I don't even think I'm gonna use this for my sweater project. It's just not worth it. Hey, you cold cranky chickens, what are you doing in here? Somebody lay an egg? I got a couple eggs in here. What's going on? 1, 2. Well, they're both relatively warm. It's funny, I'm finding that the chickens have a very mixed view on the world. I've got some chickens that really hate going in the hoop coop. Let's go in the hoop coop. Come on, Topes. We're going in the hoop coop. Let's go. then I have other chickens that I can't even get to leave the hoop coop. It's actually almost like my chickens are in two different flocks. You have this group right here, which includes actually one of our older Rhode Island Reds, plus Pingu, the Ancona, Martha, the Plymouth Rock, this Crevecoeur Rhode Island Red hybrid, a couple more young hybrids, Shakira, the Colombian Wyandotte, and then of course you can't neglect my main man, Uncle Buck.
He's cooking up garbage.
What you doing hiding under the roost there, Uncle Buck? Yeah, Uncle Buck has settled in really nicely here. The only weird thing is, like I said, it feels like my chickens have split into two flocks. You know, they're about, I don't know, a dozen a piece or a little more than a dozen a piece. Let's see what we got for eggs in here. This one's fresh, the others are ceramic. Oh, this one already froze solid. All right, I'll bring at least 2 of these eggs inside. You know, I gotta admit, it's 12:30 in the afternoon and I'm recording this on a Monday, and I'm able to just kind of wander around and putz around doing projects around the farm. That is really incredible to me, because as most of you guys know, I actually just recently made the switch from being a part-time farmer to a full-time farmer. Well, I guess a full-time farmer who also makes videos. But I will say I'm very, very happy with the change. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with all my time. Part of it has been just to relax a little bit more and not be always working so hard. The other part of it is, though, I'm also starting to take on some projects, and I might even go on a trip or two in the not too distant future. I feel like this is an important transition moment, and I very much need to, you know, take advantage of the fact that I do have this time. Of course, the other thing I also have been doing is I've been very much focused on my book project, and you'll hear more about that very soon, as well as the beef jerky company I'm starting it up. I'm playing around with some names, and I don't want to spoil it just yet, but there's more to come on that front pretty soon. How's it going, my little Ginny? You doing good, girl? Yeah, the internet's happiest cat is just chilling out here. Yeah, that's good to see. I just mashed up that frozen egg that I found. I gave it to Toby. He seems pretty darn happy with it. What's going on there, Molly girl? Getting a drink of water? Just be careful. You know, even though the air temperature is only about 8 degrees right now, you notice that the snow on the roof will still melt. Like, it's good because that means you get a little warmth and it feels nice to be outside. It's bad because then you get mud and ice that comes from all that snow melt. All right, let's go check on the cows and see what they've been up to. How's it going there, Clan McLeod? How are you doing? What's going on, Anna Green Gables? Wanna try some? No? Okay. I know my girl Ariel's interested, maybe. Ginny Barncat's starting to live dangerously. She's making herself right at home with those cattle. Now, some of you might be wondering, why am I putting hay on the ground when I have that bale feeder over there? And the answer is I've actually been trying to spread it out a little bit, where sometimes I'll put it in the bale feeder, sometimes I'll move the bale feeder, and sometimes I'll just put it right on the ground. Now, even though they waste a little bit more hay when it's on the ground, they spread it around. It makes for a nice, like, deep bedding for their manure, and so it's part of how I manage their manure. I should probably make a whole video about what I do to manage the manure, because it's definitely a project. Do you see that? I worry about what she's gonna start doing in the summer months when I'm not wearing my thick chore coat and I'm just wearing like a t-shirt. It's probably gonna rip me to shreds. But pretty soon, later this afternoon, I'm gonna actually move that bale feeder to another spot and then fill it with another bale of hay. I also find that having 2 bales going at once creates a much safer environment and less risk of the cattle escaping like Ariel did last time. And by the way, would you look at that? We got another barn cat sighting here. There's Pablo barn cat taking a nap underneath that hay bale. I mean, it's a good spot. It's got direct sunshine coming in right there at this time of day. Plus he's getting to sit on fresh grass because it's covered by the hay bale. Yeah, Pablo's a smart cat. I don't know. Ginny's got a lot of heart, but I'm not sure how much smart she's got. Well, they've definitely spun around the cattle brush a little bit. I don't know, I don't think that's that big a deal. They've definitely been playing with it, that's for sure. I'm sure they're probably still getting used to it, but I think they like it. If you guys have any suggestions on what I should do next with the cattle brush, be sure to leave it in the comments. You know, I'm thinking this through and trying to figure out where to go with this one. I might have to get my buddy Alfred's help and use one of his masonry drills to get a hole in here because it's such thick steel. I don't think my standard consumer
consumer DeWalt drill is gonna make much of an impact here.
Oh, Jenny. That's why she's called Jenny Boom Boom.